Hello friends, welcome to MongoDB with C# Beginners tutorial. So this is the 11th video of the tutorial series. So in this video, we are going to see how we can fetch the data and do some task or some process in a more efficient way if you are having a very huge collection. Just imagine that in your collection means the table. So in your collection you are having some 1 million or 2 million, more than some 2 or 3 million data, and how we can fetch the data and do some operations more efficiently. So before starting the session, I just need to tell you that if you are a beginner and if you have not watched our previous videos, you can find the playlist link in the video description, and you can see all the videos regarding MongoDB with C# tutorial in the playlist. So please go through the previous videos, then you will be able to understand the concept much more better. So this is a continuation of the tutorial series. So in this tutorial, for showing the demo, I have inserted some dummy values in a collection named product. So in our database, this is our database, MongoDB sample. So this database is having one collection named product, and product is having 4 different fields. The first one is the unique ID field, then the product code, product name, and price. So the price for all products is 100. Anyway, that doesn't matter for this particular demo. So I have given 100 for all products. Now the product code you can see here, product code and product name. It starts from 0001, and we have these many products. 100000 is the final product code, and the product name is product space 100000. So these many products are there in our table. So now let us see how we can fetch the data in more efficient way. Why I am saying in more efficient way is, just imagine if you are having millions of billions of data in your collection. So if you need to do particular task or particular process with all the data, in that case, if you are loading the whole data in the collection using a find command, I will show you. So if you are loading the whole data, the whole data will get stored in your RAM basically. So the RAM will consume a lot of space in your RAM. So to overcome this particular scenario, MongoDB is having some inbuilt functionalities. That is what we are going to check now. So let us open our sample application. So in our sample application, now I have created one list box here and a button here. So here what I'm going to do is, when I'm clicking on this particular button, the data should load, the whole data should be loaded in the list box. That is what I need to do. But in several we can use this scenario in different use cases. For example, I'll give you a small example. If you're having a huge list of email addresses, and in your application you need to send bulk email. It might be promotional email, so whatever it is. So you need to send bulk emails to the whole email addresses. So for that particular scenario also you can do in this way. But just think, if you are having some 5 million data in your collection, so if you are loading the whole 5 million data to your memory, it will consume a lot of memory. Sometimes your memory might not be sufficient to hold the entire data. If you are having some billions of data, your memory might not be sufficient. So at that time the application will throw an error and it will the application will get stopped. Okay, so now let us check what is the functionality we have in MongoDB to overcome this particular scenario. So for showing the demo, I am just creating a asynchronous method. So private async task load cursor. I'm naming it as load cursor data. The method name is load cursor data, and I'm just declaring a filter definition, which we use to do for a normal find command. So the filter definition, anyway, here I'm not going to filter with anything, so I'm just giving builders of product dot filter dot empty. Okay, so here the product is our model class. I will just show you the model class for newcomers. So product model class is having these many fields or these many elements: product ID, product code, product name, and price. The same elements, the same fields what we have in the database. Okay, so for newcomers, you can just check the previous videos to understand more about the model class and how to define the attributes and all. Now let us check how we can do this particular function, how we can do this particular thing. Now using what I'm declaring a variable named cursor is equal to await. So here we can use await method. For that particular purpose, I have declared it as an asynchronous method. So await. Now our collection, product collection, this is the product, the collection. Now product collection dot find async. So find async is an asynchronous method of filter definition. Then also we can use an option, we can give some more parameters along with this. When you find option, okay, and in find option I'm giving batch size equal to 100. I will explain what is batch size. Now just I'm giving it as batch size of 100, and for find options I'm just giving it like this: find option of product, then batch size is equal to 100. Now I'm giving a while method, while await cursor dot move next async. Now var product list is equal to cursor dot current to list. Okay. Now I'm just giving a for each method to iterate through the product list. I will explain this particular function. So just I'm just finishing this method actually, and after that I will explain how it works. Product list, then list box. Now we need to add items to the list box. So as this is an asynchronous method, this will be running in a different thread. So I just need to use listbox.invoke. Why? Because this won't be running in the UI thread. So if we just give listbox.add, listbox.items.add, it will throw an error. So if we need to call the UI thread from a background thread, then we need to do it like this: listbox1.items.add, and here I'm adding product.name, and just adding the name of each product in the list box. Okay. Now while clicking this button, load cursor data, here I'm just calling this asynchronous method. So task.run async Wait, load cursor data, sorry, load cursor data, yeah. Now I will just show you how this works. So I'm just okay, I have just created a breakpoint here. Now let's check what will happen if we call this asynchronous method. Now I'm running the application. Yeah, the application is running now. So now I am clicking on this load data with cursor function. Sorry, that I'm clicking on that button. Yes, now you can see it is here now. So I'm just pressing F10, so it will go to the next line. So now you can see it has loaded product list and the count is 100. So when I'm checking the product, it has taken the first product 0001. This is the first product, and from there it has taken 100 records. So yeah, this is the product code is 0100. That is the 100th product. Okay, now if I am clicking on continue, so now what will happen is it will take the 100 products from the database and it will run this function, and that 100 product will get added. It will get added in the list box. Okay, and after that again it will take the next 100 product. So sorry, I'm just pressing F10 again. So you can see now it has again 100 product. Now the product code started from 0101. That is the next product, and from there it has taken next 100 product. Okay, it is 0200, and those 100 product will get added to the list box. In that way, this function will take 100 products from the database and it will do the process. Then again it will take next 100 products from the database and it will do the process. So as I told in the previous example, if you need to send bulk emails, that is a very good example that we can say in this kind of scenarios. So what we can do is we can take 100 email addresses, then send emails to those 100 email addresses, again take the next 100 email addresses and sending emails to those 100. In that way we can complete the whole process in this way. So now let me check. Yeah, there are a lot many data basically. So I think whether the process has been completed. So this way we can work with a huge collection. So 100 is, I have given it for an example, the batch size is 100. So here we can give whatever values we need. Now if I need to take 1000 values in a particular batch, then I can give it like this. Now you can see, and yeah, sorry, I forgot to create a breakpoint here. Yeah, and I'm clicking the button. Now you can see it has taken 1000 products and it will add to the list box. Next, again it will take next 1000 records and it will add to the list box. In that way it will complete the whole records. So this is a very powerful function which we commonly need if we are having very huge collection, like as I told, some millions or billions of data. So this kind of functions we have to use, otherwise loading the entire data to our memory is not a good thing. Why? Because it will consume a lot of memory. So we have to use this kind of methods if we are having a very huge collection. Hope you got the logic and you enjoyed the video. So please like the video, and also you can see the previous videos in the playlist. So please subscribe to our channel and you will be able to get notified. If you press the bell icon, you will get notified once we upload new videos. So we will be uploading more advanced videos in upcoming days. Thank you all.